last video, I reflected on what it's like to have a normal heart rhythm again, and I also talked about that in relationship to Heidegger's hammer, a concept I studied when I was doing my PhD. And I'll put a link up here if you want to take a look at that video. It's also in Palmer Park, one of my favorite places to go. So you can take a look at that, or I'll put a link down below. In his letter, James gives us advice and counsel considering about how we should view our lives. And in the 4th chapter, starting with verse 13, he writes, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into this or that town and spend a year there, do business, and make a profit. You don't know about tomorrow. What is your life? For you are a puff of smoke that appears for a short time then vanishes. You ought to stay and said, if the Lord is willing, then we will do this or that." Now, I don't know why I'm doing these videos with these reflections, because it seems like each and every time I do one, the message is directed straight at me. And between doing that video and today, I have to tell you, I've been converted. 2 days after posting those videos, I woke up in the middle of the night with my heart going nuts once again. And so Sunday morning, I went to urgent care. We had another EKG done, which I failed once again. The good news is I didn't go back into flutter. This time I kicked over to afib. And when I woke up in the middle of the night, it was like descending into a nightmare once again. In fact, for the first couple of minutes, I really thought it was a nightmare. And my heartbeat was pretty irregular, and I had some what they call premature ventricular contractions thrown in just for good measure. But the end of that long story is I got shipped off from urgent care over to the emergency room at Memorial Hospital. And when we were at Memorial Hospital, I have to say that I was really impressed with the care and the concern that the medical staff there gave me. They get total kudos on my part for this. There must have been 8 people that were looking after me, sticking patches all over my body to take sensors, making sure I was okay, checking my vitals and everything like this. And then they decided that they were going to cardiovert me. They were going to shock me to put my heart rate back into rhythm. And in case you've never seen or know what that is all about, I've included a link. There should be a link up here in the video for it. If not, if that doesn't show up, then look down below. It's a little shocking to watch, but from my perspective, having gone through it, it's kind of like, ugh! I went through that, and personally, I find it kind of funny because I can relate directly to what the guy in the video went through. It's basically a very, very fancy taser, only instead of random jolts of electricity, you get one controlled one at a much higher power. For me, they sent the current from up here to here. But the medication or sedative they give is incredibly effective. So I really don't remember anything of when they jolted me. And I have to say, once again, medical technology is absolutely amazing. I went under in full AFib and my heart going absolutely nuts. Wake up and you're absolutely amazed that your heart is quiet, it's beating right, things are well with the world once again. So now we are on plan B. Now we are managing AFib rather than being treated for aflutter. And according to the doctor, there's really no cure. This is something that you live with and you manage it in different ways as you go. Right now, the plan is for me to carry around medication with me that does a medical sort of cardioversion. So if I feel my heart going out of rhythm, I take one of these and hopefully it puts the heart back in rhythm. And if I stay out for 12 hours and it still hasn't corrected, then I'm to go to the emergency room where they will cardioconvert me again. And the surprising thing is the doctor really didn't think that there was a limit as to the number of times that they can do that. Isn't that kind of exciting? This brings me back to James when he writes, and I'm going to personalize it, I am but a puff of smoke. I'm here for a short time and then it vanishes. Now, mentally, you believe that. You know, everybody has a finite life here on this earth. But it's kind of a different thing when you're lying in a bed and you've got a team of 8 people all around you and they're describing how they're going to run this massive jolt of electricity through your heart to put it back in rhythm. James goes on and says, I ought to say this instead. If the Lord is willing, I will live and do this or that. And it seems like with my health and everything we've been going through recently, that's really where I'm at. That's been kind of the focus of my life. It seems like plans keep changing, the medical condition keeps changing, and it's really, if God wills, I'm going to do this or that. And that's really where my life is at right now. They don't know how often or if the AFib will come back. They're not sure of the best plan of action. We're on plan B right now, but we'll see how that goes. And so it really means that I'm kind of taking each day at a time and having to trust God for where it goes. This is my new normal. This is the situation I'm going to be living in. It's a long-term prognosis. If the Lord wills, I will live and do this or that. Until next week, I will catch you later.